So, Yanni, you ready for day 2?
Yeah.
You gonna learn a lot of stuff today?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, I'm heading back to the house after dropping my daughter off. It's on her second day of kindergarten. And I was listening to some talks while I was heading back, and it just made me really sit back and think. Actually, it was more like a punch to the chest. I do a lot of the stuff that I like, and the reason why I built this channel is to help people understand, and my mount is moving. So let me go ahead and hold my phone as much as I didn't want to. The reason why I did this is because I want people to understand the importance of media in church. And I've said it before, and I said it in my book, and I just want to say it again, that and even you follow anybody that's on these platforms and big to do about social media and marketing and stuff like that, it's money is not the most important thing. What's important right now is attention. You have to understand your media ministry is about getting attention, getting the attention of people. Because think about it, everything that you've bought, your clothes, your car, your shoes, your watch, the vacations that you go on, were all influenced by some company or person who got your attention long enough to plant that seed of interest to you. So that's what we're really looking for is, so, and again, it's not, I talk a lot about how to spread a message so that in a way that doesn't cost you an arm and a leg. You know, that's still the purpose of it, because I know there's some people that some churches, they don't have the budget for it. Some people who are trying to push for this, they don't have the budget for the products, the computers, the software, all this other stuff. So I still want to bring that type of suggestions to you. But, I mean, even for me, I have to realize that we are truly underestimating the power of the devices and the technology that we have. Like I was listening to a talk by GaryVee, and if you're not sensitive to language, I would highly recommend you subscribe to him. He does a whole lot of mindset, but there is a lot of profanity in it. So if you are squeamish to that, you might not want to listen to that. But if you can ignore all that and hear the message of it, it's really good. But he has a point. He was talking about how he was saying that based off of how we're using technology right now, this is the smallest amount of how we would be using technology right now. And I kind of say the same thing, and I'm guilty of this as well in my church. Just live streaming on Sunday, posting a video or a podcast once a week is not enough. Doing a Facebook post, an Instagram post, or whatever social media that you're on once a week or even once a day isn't enough. You got to think, how much are Coke and Pepsi? How many commercials do they see? Is non-stop. So if we're about wanting to spread our message about Jesus Christ, like we're talking about, it's not a Sunday thing, because we're literally taking the issue that a lot of churches have had and made it digital. Oh, we only have the church open on Sunday, and that's really the only thing you hear about it. And now we're just doing the same thing. Oh, the only time you hear about us on social media is one day a week. It's the exact same thing. And I say this to me as well as everybody else, that we have to crank up what we do so much more than what we're doing. So that's my little rant to y'all and rant to myself this morning. So let's get back here, and we're gonna just start ramping it up some more. All right, so what are we gonna get into? Let's go over, like what I said, I need to got another budget here. So I'm just gonna share with you what I think is important for our media ministry based off of where we're at. So first I gotta start up the NDI scanner, because again, I'm doing this a little bit different when I capture the stuff. I normally have everything running through the ATEM. Don't like really having that all turned on, but I just like how I'm actually doing this right now. So let's give it a second. Then we're gonna go over to my scene 2. I don't know why it doesn't save this. Well, I'm going over to scene monitor 2 anyway. All right, so let me cut over to my drive. Let me see if I can pull up my other budget here. Budgets. Guys, music. Alright, so let me do this one, and I'm just gonna revise this. And we're gonna make a copy. Now, granted, I normally itemize the things that we need. Most people do not. So that's what we're going to be doing. All right, so this was back in the day. And actually, so we already had the cameras. What I'm going to do is do my wish list of here. Now, for those who watch any of my other videos, I donated this camera to replace our right camera. We only have one older camera that we originally had, which is a Sony Handycam CX230. What I want to do is replace the right camera the camera. All right, and I want one of those, and let's look that up. I don't remember the exact model here. It was 8C. Okay, so this is the one I want to look up. And let's look up the. Do I have the link in here? All right, so. All right, so like I said, this is the one I bought, and it's going for $450 now. So that's what we're gonna use. All right, so these controllers we don't need anymore because we already got them. Now, what I want to do is, like I said, you saw I've been replacing the converters, getting rid of the Ori XD700s. We have 2 left. That's the one that's on that top shelf that you saw me climb up the ladder in the front of the church. I want to replace that one with one of these Blackmagic HDMI to SDI converters, similar to this. This is actually the reverse here. This is an SDI to HDMI. This is the one I still have here from when I replaced the bidirectional one under the table here from my ATEM. So we want to get 2 of those, because then that's going to be the one for our Canon G20 that's in the back, that's in the ceiling. I want to replace that with one of these, the opposite one, obviously HDMI to SDI. Replace that, and I want to put that one on a smart plug as well too, so that now that camera, this other device is turned on, because the Ori one is the other one that still stays on. So those are Blackmagic Design HDMI to SDI. Converters. All right, that's 2 of those, and those are around like $55, I believe. Yep, here it is right there. Yeah, $55, and this is the one that comes with a plug. So 2 of those. Oh, did I not do a formula in here? Guess not. All right, we don't need writable DVDs anymore. But I do need 3 tripods. To replace the tripods that we have, I need one with a handle so it's easier for everybody to adjust. Similar to the one that I got, but not too over the top, because I want to replace the one that's on the right for the Panasonic camera, the new one for this new Panasonic camera on the left, as well as another tripod for, because I mean, these cameras, I'm going to still use them. I'm just going to move them to the chapel so that we have access to do stuff in there. So technically, I guess I can use the tripod that we already have. But again, if we're going to get one, I want to, might as well get 3 of them there. So what I want to do is a fluid head tripod. And see, this is similar to the one that I have that I take with me for games, and I really need another one because, like I said in the other video, I was saying that the leg is broken, so it doesn't stay. I can't fully extend it. So something like that, or one of these is fine. And actually, this is the exact one that I have there. So again, we don't need something over the top, but again, we need something of good quality, and I want an extra handle that's sticking out like that would work. Wow, this is a double handled one. I like that, but I think that actually we might not have enough space for that. All right, so I think I'm gonna go with this one here. So I just need a price, so that's like $80. So we'll get that, and so 3 of those. Those are $80. Instrument cables, I don't think we need anymore. Printer ink, we definitely need. I donated my old laser printer there. That was a Brother HL 100? No, 14. It's a 1440. So we need ink for that. The good thing, they last. Laser printers last so much longer, and I think I've had a laser printer ever since college. So I haven't had an inkjet in I don't know how long. But so that's around, I'll just say 75 if I pick it up in the store. So I would say laser printer ink cartridge. Say that's one, that's $75. Streaming PC, we already did that. That's the one that I built in this other video that I will tag up here. Projector distribution panel, we don't need this anymore because we went with the smart devices on what we did. Converters, and this stuff we don't need. All right, so this is my wish list, and now I'm gonna start including some other stuff here. So this is, how would I flag this? These are maintenance items for better performance. This is, again, maintenance. This is upgrade. Now, from a standpoint of our website, a lot of that does need to be done. Like, what I would really like is to actually have a camera, an actual DSLR camera, so we have other people to take pictures instead of it just being me using my phone or something like that. Also, I would like a laptop, so a kind of powerful laptop, so that people who can't do, don't have a computer at home, they can actually start having a laptop to take with them that's more than capable to do the stuff that needs to be done. I would like that. Let's see. I'd like to put this at 2, to be quite honest. I'll say camera for chapel. No, I'm not gonna do that, because we still have the cameras we have work, but again, there's no point in putting super fancy camera in the chapel when not that many people are doing it. But I guess the mindset, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and put it. Now I just talked myself. Camera for left camera and camera for, you know what, I'm telling myself again, we have 2 cameras already, so I'm gonna go back and just say replacement for left camera and just say 1, because as much as I would like to move and get some other ones, I already know I have to be careful on what I'm asking for, because I'm building trust, but at the same time, I don't want to really mess people up with that. So, all right, so the next thing that I would need is SDI cables. I have one cable that's running to our back Canon G20, which is a 100-foot cable that I had left over. Because honestly, it's too long. It's too much. It's just been bundled up. It takes up a whole lot of space, and it's just lumped up and up under the desk. So what I want to do is get at least 150 foot for there, and maybe 350 feet, because a lot of the cables I donated and they're running kind of jimmy rig stuff. I just have regular quad shielded coax cable that you get from Lowe's. So I want to get some actual official cables so that they will run, and instead of having, I have multiple shorter cables, like maybe a 6-foot, then a 3-foot, then a 10-foot. I just want to get enough cables where they're just one run and there's not a point of failure in between or connection. So I would say maybe 4 of those. So it's actually a 25-foot HD SDI cables. I have some parts left over, so I have another, it's not an NVMe drive, but it is a M.2 drive that I want to switch out our main editing system and get that to a Ryzen 1700 or something like that, or maybe just a 1600 Ryzen 5, something like that, to get it better for performance and video editing. Because again, my whole thought is, yes, I like doing this stuff, but again, I want to get it to where other people can do this and it's not just me. So I'm believing that I'm gonna have I have 2 new people that are gonna be joining the media ministry for our next meeting Monday. So the idea is I want the systems upstairs to be capable that if one of them comes during choir rehearsal or during the time when somebody's there, they can go upstairs, do all the stuff that you see me do throughout the week, and they have a system that's more than capable at the church, or they may even have one that's at home, but I want to make sure the system is there. So what do I need? The hard drives are fine. I'm going to get this one drive here. Technically, I already have a motherboard already. So technically, I really just need memory and a processor. So let's cut over, back over here to, and actually let me take the link of all this stuff
so that people can actually see, because I'm going to actually print this stuff out so they can go to it themselves. See, again, most people who else are doing their budgets, they normally don't do this, and I've been told I'm like one of very few ministries that actually does this, so that way they don't really have to come and ask questions because it's right there in front of them. So that's that. Now I'm thinking that's from a technology standpoint of the things that we need and to move us forward, progressively move us forward. Now, what else do we need? I mean, we need actually training, but we don't really, that's why I'm really doing this, and I'm actually looking to set up a media ministry training in my area with the local churches. I'm still working on doing that. So I would probably say a conference type of thing. So I'm gonna say call this what, a local church media ministry conference. For supplies, setup and food. All right, so this will be kind of like a fundraiser for us. So if they complain about the amount, we are gonna sell tickets so that people can come to this. So this is around, I'm gonna ask for $1,000. That's highball. And you know, paper, supplies, and all this other stuff like that. Batteries we really don't need because we've gone to rechargeables for everything. Surge protectors and stuff, I've replaced all that stuff. Oh, I was mentioning the computer. Video switcher, PC upgrade. So that's what I was trying to do. That I forgot about. Let me bring up Amazon over here. So what I would do is I need memory and I need a processor. So again, I would say go to Ryzen 5. Now I'm not going to go with the 3000 series because this is an older motherboard. Even though it's compatible, I don't feel there's a need to jump to this because this is just meant for video editing. And again, as of right now, I don't really have that many people who are video editing on here. The memory in this other one is DDR3 and we're on DDR4. So the memory that's in the current system I can't use, but I will use that computer for something else. I actually got the other motherboard from the original live streaming computer that can still be used for anything else. So like if I was doing these NDI monitors, granted they're big motherboards, they would be more than capable to handle that. Even with their older processors, it will work because these processors are more powerful than the ones that you've seen me install currently. All right, so let's go ahead and say we need memory. So let's just say that's $80. So this would be $80 plus $145. And then we need a CPU fan. So I need an AM4 CPU cooler. I think this will work for us. And it looks like it's high up out of the way of the memory. So I think we'll go with this one. So that would be significantly cheaper. So I'll say that's $40. And then plus 40. So that's for a memory, new processor, and a CPU fan. Right here. All right, so we're asking for a budget of $2,200. And if I took out the conference that I want to do, we're right at around that. So I'm gonna say, and I'm just gonna say miscellaneous, just in case. And what I'll do is say that this is actually I'll say I asked for $2,800. So that's going to be what I put in for my budget for this year. Hopefully I don't get in trouble for showing that, but this is just, it's highly likely I'm not even going to get that. But this is what I put together based off of what I know that we need. Like a lot of supplies and stuff, because of how we've moved, we really don't need anything. Now, if something major happened, like an amp and stuff like that, I don't have that in the budget because that's just not something that we even think to have to cover at this point in time. So that's about it with that. So let's see what else we can get into for the rest of the day. I'm gonna get over to the websites and stuff like that. So let's go. So mainly what I'm doing right now is trying to take myself to school on learning TikTok and trying to see how I could use that first for myself under this channel and things like that, as well as how this could be used, and just trying to figure out how that would be used in church and things like that. Obviously, I would assume this is going to be something for our kids to take over and something that we can get them involved, but that's what I'm just trying to figure out right now. And then I'm updating my website. I ended up going with a theme that I picked out last night, which I really like. So I'm just migrating my stuff over to this site right now.
So while I was sitting here, I was just sitting back and wondering, why do you think, in the comments, why do you think most of the people are fighting all this technology? Just wondering. Me personally, being how my mom is 83, I believe. 83, sorry, I forgot off the top of my head. But the thing about it is, you know, I was had late, so a lot of the people who are in charge in the majority of churches is around the age of what my mom is at. And this is what I've come to know, and what I believe and what I've seen myself is, I think a lot of it is, it's fear, first off. And then secondly, it's about handing the reins over to another generation. I think that's what it is. I think it's one of those things where, like, when folks get older, it's like, it's not that they're inept. Not saying that at all. They're more than capable. But I think it's kind of like, I'll just put it this way, not to throw nobody up under the bus. I'll just use my dad, for example. When he was sick and he was on his last legs, I remember sitting down and talking to him, and he was saying it hurt him just because he felt that he was incapable of doing stuff himself anymore. It was like a loss of power, a loss of control, a loss of an ability. So I don't know if that's what it is. You know, again, I'm not trying to blast anyone. I'm really, what I'm trying to do is, like, with me as well as all the other churches I work with and anybody else is watching, I think all of us are really the ones that are Christians, believers, followers of Jesus Christ, trying to work out our own gifts and talents in the areas that we have, as well as just moving and continuing the move of the church. Is, I think there's a lot of fear, but also doubt of, if I hand this over, will it be ran as effective as when whoever used to run it? Maybe that, I could be wrong with that. I'm just wondering, because if I have two schools of thought on that. If you have an issue, then inherently what that means is you feel that you have not done what you needed to do to teach the next generation come behind you. Or you're kind of scared because there is no other generation behind you, because now that the older saints are at the older ages, they've ran off, some churches, not all churches, have ran off those younger ones to take their place. So now there is no, succession plan. There is, when this ministry, the leaders in this ministry die out, who was there? Like, I remember my dad, he started something at our church, and he bucked the system so much. Like, he wanted to start junior deacons, and so many of the current deacons at the time had such a problem with that plan. Now, I'm just being honest, call it what it is. All those same people that had an issue, I think at this point almost all of them have died off. And when I go back to my dad's original church, the last church he was a pastor at, I mean, there are young folks there, but it's barely, I'm talking about probably less than maybe 5 people last time I remember that were in my age range that grew up in that church that are there anymore. Most of them that still live in the area are moved on to other places, because it's like, it's one thing to be at a church and you want to have spiritual growth, but you want to feel that you're used. Like, what's the point of sitting there? Like, I guess I'm somebody, like, I don't like having a job to where it's so simple, I really don't have to do anything. I like to have a challenge. Being able to just sit back and take a paycheck and barely have to do anything, that's not me. That annoys the daylights out of me. So I just sit back and think, and I just wonder on the other side of the aisle, like, what is the issue with trying to let somebody else be in this position or something like that? Because if you wait until you're dead and you haven't trained nobody, do you know how much more difficult that is, and how most likely somebody might get burned out or quit because it's overwhelming to try and do all that stuff? That's why, like, me personally, I'm trying to groom as many people as possible in our media ministry in different areas. Now, I mean, I haven't always been successful at it, but again, if it doesn't work, you keep going. You just don't quit. You'll win if you keep going. You'll never win if you quit. So you have to stay on the edge and always keep trying to do new things and try and bring other people in, and to grow the ministry from being able to reach more people, staying on the cutting edge, not necessarily technology, but on the cutting edge of, we need to try new things, because you just can't standing out on the street and handing out tracts. Not that does not work, but that's not the only thing that works. You have to add more things to your repertoire. Just like yesterday, if we had never did live streaming, those kids that left church to go to school and stuff like that, what option would they have had except for maybe finding another church? Now, I don't know how it is in other schools now, but I know when I went to Hampton University as a freshman, going to the school, no one could have a car till your senior year unless you lived off campus, had a job, or like me, you were a prior military. And that's when you could have a car freshman year. But nobody else could have a car until your senior year. So where else were they going for church unless your school didn't have a chapel or a church or something like that? Like, where were you going? Like me, I didn't go to the church on campus. Maybe I probably went once, now I think about it. Maybe. I ended up going to a local church that a lot of the other college folks were talking about, 6 Mount Zion, where Pastor Barber was there, who ended up, going under my dad's school, theology school. So I used to go there, but then me, honestly, I used to drive back from Hampton all the way back to Lynchburg, Virginia, about a 4-hour drive to help out the youth ministry. Because I was groomed that way, and I already knew it, that I wanted to give back and help. So, I don't know where all that came from. I'm trying to drive up here, drop off this stuff, and then pick my daughter up from school. And I was just thinking about talking. But I don't know. That's just the whole thing. It's like, people need to realize that we're not trying to usurp their authority, kick them out, say they're useless or nothing like that. My generation and younger, a lot of us who are on fire for God and want to help out, is we want to help. We don't want to be told, sit right here until we're ready for you, and then you can use your gift. I remember in the parable of the talents, it never said that the master gave the 3 talents, 1 5, 1 2, and 1 1, and told them to use their talent, but to only use it when everybody else is ready for it. It never said that. It said to go use it, but the one who did not use his talent, whether it be of his own accord or he allowed other people to not use it, I'm putting that part in, I believe that's true, is he was told, get away from me, that wicked servant, because you didn't do nothing. You could have grown interest in it at least. That's what the word says. So it doesn't matter if anybody else is ready for your gift. We have to use the gifts that were given to us, point blank, period. So anyway, all right. So I am on the way to the church right now. I'm gonna drop off the budget stuff that I went through today, earlier with y'all. I'm gonna drop that off. We need to print out the other form in the media booth and attach that to this. That should give me about 45 minutes. I got an hour before I gotta pick up my daughter from school, see how her third day of school was. Her second day of school was. What else we got going on? Gotta figure out what's for dinner. I'm thinking maybe pizza. And then after that, I need to get some good reading in. I was gonna say, I thought I left my book. I got my book to eat up some time in between, because it really shouldn't take that long to print all this other stuff. I'm trying to read for about 30 minutes and have some meditation time, calming, centering time. And then, like I said, get my daughter, see what we're going to do after that. Haven't heard, well, actually, I heard back from the New Jerusalem. They're going to try and get some information to me so I can finish up their website, as well as when I go by the church, I'm going to see did they get all that information that I asked for about 2 weeks ago for the Learning Center, so I can finish their website as well. I found a different website that the church that reached out to me wants me to use for the whole church pro church tools kind of guide for a website. So I'm gonna do that. I need to wait for the fundage to come in for me to do that, and then I don't know what else I'm gonna get into yet. So we'll see.
All right, so here is the final result of what I put together. So I have this set out as a challenge here on our event website. I sent the people who said they were interested, I let them know first before I really put it out for anybody else. And the way I have it on our theme here is got a slight little write-up. We have it set up as 3 teams that they need to sign up at 4 people at a time, and then everybody else is audience, and it's free. It's just a way to track everything, and that's about it. So I ended up gutting the video that I made. I'm gonna use that video, probably a mixture of that, and do that with my announcement on Sunday, which I'm gonna record later this week. But I think that's about it. So that's all I got going on today. Thank y'all for joining me. We're gonna be back tomorrow with some other stuff, probably continue on this, working on some more websites, and let's find out some other stuff that we can get media ministry related. And also want to say congratulations to Alex. If you were, he's a guy that we were talking to on our last live stream. He passed his certification test. Congratulations to Alex. Knew you could do it. And anyway, y'all have a good night, and we'll see y'all tomorrow. Later.